Welcome, in front of me is the OPPO Reno 14 and I'll be going over unboxing along with a quick look at this device with all the box marketing of AI phone. I love it. Anyway. So let's just get straight into this. Now what it means by OPPO AI phone, only God knows. It's not really mentioned here. So anyway, let's getting into this. Make your moment. Now my moment will be without AI, so I just leave that to the side. Grab the phone. I do have to say that the color looks nice, man. I kind of like it, but holy crap, does it look like an iPhone from the side. Anyway, booting it up. Under that we have a Type A to Type C charging cable, and that's it. You don't get a break, you don't get nothing else. So let's get to this. In terms of specifications, we are looking at a 6.59 inches of display right here, which is an AMOLED display with a resolution of 1256 by 2760 pixels, 1 billion colors, 120 Hz refresh rate, a whopping 3840 Hz pull rate for the display, which is freaking fantastic. HDR10 Plus certified with a peak brightness of 1200 nits. That seems a little bit low, but anyway. We also have a 89.6% screen to body ratio and 460 pixels per inch, covered with a corner Gorilla Glass 7i or Crystal Shield glass. Additionally, we also have a pre-applied screen protector on here, so that's also pretty nice. And for the people that don't know what I just said, don't worry, your furniture shouldn't float or anything like that. So to put it simply, the display right here is actually really good. It's surprising how good actually this is. Considering the price is below what, for instance, Samsung charges you for their phones, or for instance Pixel wants for their. Anyway, let's move over to the cameras at the back first, and here we have what looks to be a triple camera setup. Now, the two main sensors, if we can call that, are both 50 megapixel. One is f1.8 aperture 26mm wide lens, and we got a f2.8 aperture 80mm telephoto, and then the last one is an 8 megapixel f2.2 50mm 116 degree ultra wide lens. With those cameras you can record videos up to 4K at 60 frames per second max, but if you drop it down to 1080p you get 60 along with slow motion of 120. So those are the back cameras. Now if we flip it over to the front, that's where we have another 50 megapixel sensor, f2.0 aperture, 21mm wide lens that also does 4K 60 and 1080p 60. No slow motion though. Those are the cameras. Now if we go into the internals, not really go, I'm not going to be taking the phone apart. We will be presented with a 6000 mAh battery for a relatively small screen size of the display. So let me just bring up my phone. I'm just going to want to. So this is the small Samsung phone, the S25, the smallest one that they have. You can see it is a bit smaller than this, but this device packs a whopping 6000 mAh battery instead of like 4000 that the S25 packs. So 6000, and additionally we have a whopping 80 watts of charging speed for this battery, which is obviously pretty good. It's much better than what Samsung offers with their devices at, like, specifically this one has like 25 watts, which is just a joke for a phone in 2025. So yeah, 80 watts is really good charging speed for a device. Unfortunately, there's no charger provided, so you'll need to get one yourself, unless you already have one. Now, moving on, we also have, at the lowest end, 8 gigabytes of RAM with 256 gigs of storage, but this device can be spec'd up all the way up to 1 terabyte of storage and 16 gigs of RAM, so you can push it wildly into like unreasonable territories of basically what you would expect from a desktop computer to pack, or laptops more like. So yeah, these are pretty good specs, but I want to point out this device comes at a price of about below $800, so it's pretty well priced, I would say, for what it offers. and that would refer to the lowest end, the 8 GB of RAM and 256. If you want the 1 TB, you're probably going to be spending over 900, if not more. I might be expecting like even over $1,000. You know what? Let me not guess. I'm just gonna search for this. Oop, not 1TG, 1TB. Come on. If I could only type correctly. There we go. So, give me a sec, because this actually might be even cheaper than what I'm saying. Just need to double check. So that's 2,800. Let's see. Yeah, so right now I'm checking Allegro, which is Polish equivalent of something like an Amazon. And right here, from OPPO official store on there, you can get this phone for 2,800 PLN, which is basically actually a little bit less than so it's like $750 US, something along those lines. So for 750, and that is the 12 GB of RAM 256 version of this phone. So it's not the default like 8 gigs RAM, the lowest end that you can possibly get. Could be that this is limited by region, so maybe something like India has this version of the device and the rest of the world gets the higher end one with 12 gigs. I don't know. It wouldn't be the first time I've seen something like this, but I genuinely don't see anyone selling the 8 gig RAM version on at least the Allegro. So about 750 for 12 gigs RAM, 256 storage. Seems like a pretty decent option. One thing that I also want to add in terms of the storage, there is no expandable storage. Samsung Internet, huh? Let's go with Firefox, that's much better. So yeah, there's no expandable storage here. So something to keep in mind if you're buying this device. Automatically go for the version that actually like has the amount of storage that you will need. So in a second, once I actually get to the home screen, we can see the OS, how it looks like. So there it is. We have a couple features by the look of it that are just straight out of something like Samsung with the Edge panel. Now this is running Android 15 with ColorOS 15 as well. And it looks decent. It's nothing like egregiously out of the Android realm. It does come with garbage, as you would probably expect at this price range for a device that offers what it offers. So we have things like Blackblast, Booking, and all the other crap right here that comes loaded already on here. I actually don't think these are downloaded. Never mind, they are. Holy shit. Excuse me? Okay, that was weird. Let's try another one. Yep, okay, so these are just like straight loaded on here already. Okay. Yep, so yeah. So you will need to clean up your device a little bit. As you can see, there is plenty of shit on here already. But you can delete these applications just to kind of showcase this. No problem. Hopefully uninstall. Yep, be gone. So you can get rid of it, no problem. It's not really a big deal. So if you have some kind of trash apps that you don't want, just get rid of them right away when you set up the device. One last thing actually that I didn't mention is the processor powering this, and it's the Dimensity 8350 processor. Now this is basically a flagship processor, and to compare it to, let's actually quickly check what it is closer to. I don't think it's the equivalent of like something like the 8 Elite. That's most certainly not going to be the case, I presume, but I'm just going to check it. Yep, it's not even in the same realm. So let's see, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 maybe? So even Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is just a little bit better. Let's Gen 1. Oh, yep, that seems to be more of a comparison. So it's closer to something like the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. Not the best processor on the market for the price, to be honest. So it seems like OPPO decided to do some cost cutting right here. They offer everything here. This kind of like form factor is pretty decent. The only thing that I find it to be a little bit more lacking is obviously the processor being the Dimensity in this case. It seems like the biggest limiting factor. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because as a device released in May 15 of 2025, it does compete with other devices like, for instance, the Xiaomi 15. And that device will be just a little bit more expensive. I do want to clarify this. But let me just quickly check the prices. So yeah, it's just a bit more expensive by like $25 to maybe $50. If you're already spending $750 isn't necessarily that big of a difference, I would say, but it will be a way worth the upgrade purchase. As for instance, for 2800 or 28,500, which equates to, let me just quickly check this. So actually, wait, no, that is $780. So that's almost this, like $750, $780, and that's nearly identical price. And if you can get it on sale, that's even better. So for that, you get the Xiaomi 15 with 12 gigs of RAM and half a terabyte of storage, so more than you have right here. And more importantly, what you get is a much faster processor, being the Snapdragon 8 Elite. So it's like a tier higher and the best one you can get, and it's literally what you have in the newest flagships from Samsung. So yeah, that is pretty good, and the cameras also there are pretty good. Now, from Xiaomi, the 15 version is basically what they have as a flagship phones. These are their highest end models. There's a couple tiers. You have like the 15, some 15, I don't know, Pro or Plus or whatever, and then you have also the Ultra. Now, obviously, the 15, the base one, is the one that I'm talking about. The screen size is close to this one. It's actually a bit smaller than this, at 6.36 inches instead of the 6.5 something that we have right here. But other than that, the device will basically outperform this one in terms of raw power. And in terms of cameras and other things, it's either on the same page or basically very close to each other, maybe a little bit higher in certain cases. I know the battery is smaller, but charging speed I think was better. Let's see. Just to get a quick look. Yeah, so battery wise, we are looking at 5240, but 90 watts charging and 50 watts wireless charging as well, because it's a flagship device. It comes with additional perks. It also runs Android 15 with up to 4 years of upgrades, HyperOS 2 and all that jazz. Same thing, AMOLED display, but it also comes with a Dolby Vision certification and a higher peak brightness at 3200 nits. So yeah, in general, oh, and one more thing, it rocks a triple 50 megapixel camera, a wide, telephoto, ultra wide, which do 8K at 30 and 4K up to 60 with 10-bit Dolby Vision, HDR and all that jazz, and also log videos. So in terms of cameras, the phone will be better. In terms of performance, the Xiaomi will be better. The only thing you sacrifice is just a bit of a smaller screen size, and you get, I would say, a pretty decent device all in all. So if you're on the fence on which kind of Chinese phone you want, I might recommend maybe checking out the Xiaomi 15, as that one seems to be a fantastic flagship for about the same price as this one. This nonetheless is still a, I would say, good phone. It does have pretty great specifications, but like I said, the only thing limiting here is the Dimensity 8350. So that is a bit lower step down from the Snapdragon 8 Elite, and at the same price basically. It literally defeats the purpose to go for something that offers you a lower performance for the same price. Anyway, that about sums it up. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching. bye.